Hey guys, what's up? This is Free to Play Ayaka back again with another video. This is Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. We are going to be talking about my Swordcraft list. Now, if you guys didn't know, I did play original Swordcraft in the base game. So I am master in the base game. If you guys want to take a look, I am master. I have been master for quite a few seasons, and my most played deck is Swordcraft, as you guys can see. So we're gonna take a look at a Swordcraft deck that I've been cooking up from watching various Japanese streamers, as well as my own gameplay of things, and like break down why every card is in the deck and why I chose to take out some cards, and like my thought process through everything. So here's the deck. Let me do the QR code for you guys. Okay, so a lot of the games I've been involved with, like playing as like either against Swordcraft, not a lot of Forestcraft till just recently in like higher level and like higher groups and higher levels. It's like more Forestcraft. There's a lot of Runecraft and a lot of Portalcraft. Mainly, you'll start to be seeing a lot of puppets in higher elo, because I feel like puppets are just broken, and like you cannot compete against like puppets. Like it's very difficult because of the amount of recursion, and it's a zero cost play point, 1/1 follower. Unless it's like an enchant follower, and they have multiple ways to get it, plus buffing it, as well as Orcus giving them Storm and Bane, and it's just a nightmare. But anyway, a lot of the decks you're gonna be versing are against Runecraft or Portalcraft, because of how popular they are and how broken the decks are. So knowing that, it's going to be obviously it's a mid-range deck. I focused more on the buffing and mid-ranged. So here are the ratios. I did 3 quick. I cannot speak right now. Sorry. I did 3 flash step quick bladers. I feel like this card is like super important because this gets you started. You ping damage, and you need to ping damage in order to get Albert to get into like a sweet spot. Pinging for against Dragoncraft, against Forestcraft does help. If they put good fairy, you put down flash step quick blader, and you go face when they do good fairy on turn 1, because they need to trade into you. You don't trade into them, and you're just giving them an extra fairy, so you go straight to face. But outside of that, this is the combo starter. This can get buffed to 2/2 from this. If you're lucky, you can get 3/3 or 4/4 from Zercrona with this, so it'll be 2/2. No, it'll be a 3/3 follower. That's just doing Storm to face, which is incredibly busted. We have Lionheart, like needless to say, evolve, destroy, fall in the field, goes through Aura, and it goes through Intimidate, and a lot of Dragoncraft are playing freaking Intimidate, so you can't attack into them, but they can attack into you, and it's just a nightmare, bro. But it also has various uses against like Runecraft. Say they put down they +1 play point on turn 4, put down Anne, summon Anne's summoning, which is a ward. You put this down, destroy Anne, and then the thing gets destroyed, and then they have to reset their play for turn 5, which is pretty powerful. This has very, very unique effects, and in a deck where you want to conserve as much evil play point as possible, you'll start to see why I'm playing some certain cards. So this, typically, I usually play on turn 2, but I usually try to save it to gouge out what the opponent does, because a lot of things are very, very like uncertain. So you always want to try, like, if you have multiple copies, you can definitely put that one, but if you don't have multiple copies, I'd say it depends. It really depends. Like, say you're versing Dragoncraft, you put this on 2, you'd forget the evolve point, you put this on 2 if you have it, and then you go straight to face, because you need to match their damage and match their board as well. But in the later game, this tends to become a little bit undervalued for the pick, but I still have it at 3 because it's a very good pickup for the early game, just for consistency purposes. Indominus, I think Samurai, like, this card is broken, bro. At 2 cost, if you gain Super Evolution, give this follower Bane. This is the only Bane in your deck, and it's a very good 2/1 card with Rush. You can play it on turn 2 to start clearing boards for your turn 3, or you can hold it. It usually depends for me if I hold it or not. Like, I'll hold it if I don't need a reason to. If I have like a 2-3-4 play or like a 2-4-5 play, I just hold it, because there are very strong boards, and again, this is a mid-range deck, so this is not focusing too much on the early game. But if you get the early game, then it's good. Outside of that, I would never play this on an open board. Never. Just keep it in your hand. There's no point. Just pass. Do not play this on an open board. You're just wasting a Rush follower for absolutely no reason whatsoever, unless you have like Ancestral Crown, which we'll get to. But you put 3 in this deck. This is a core part of the deck. This is just like, needless to say, it's a Rush. On turn 6, turn 7, it's a Bane follower that can destroy anything through shields, and Bane can destroy through shields, by the way, so that's very, very important. Luminous Lance Trooper, summon a knight. When an officer follower enters the field, give it Rush. Officer followers are pertained precisely to knights, and they are pertained to Steel-clad knights, which are officers. That's how they did it in this deck. So it's been like 2 weeks now. So yeah, that's you. Like, yeah, officer followers are knights. This is a very powerful card. It may not look like a powerful card, but giving anything Rush in this game is disgusting. It's a 2 cost, which is nice, but sometimes you wish like you could reduce its cost by 1. I mean, like, maybe I played too much OG Shadowverse when I'm like reducing cards from my deck with that one super Rush, that superstar evolution card that like reduces your hand by 5, and if you evolve 10 times, 15 times, you reduce it by 5 in the deck. But needless to say, you run through this because this is just, it gives any officer Rush, and you'll see a lot of cards in this deck do plant officers, which are needed. This is definitely a turn 2 card. You slam this down on turn 2 no matter what. Like, if you have it, slam it on turn 2. If you don't need to, I wouldn't bother. But Sword needs board presence. Think of it like think of it like you're going to the war and they don't send, like, your side doesn't send out troops. It's like, that's not possible. That's why you'd send this out. Empty board, full board, you summon this out. Whether you attack with the knight or not, I'd say a judgment. Sometimes you don't want to attack into it. So say for instance, Swordcraft has on turn 3 to your turn 2. No, their turn 2 to your turn. No, their turn 3 to your turn 2. They have 3 fairies. I would say just dump the knight and then leave it or attack into the fairy depending on you. It really, like, every game is very situational on the decisions that you make. So you really have to like be mindful of your HP as well as your life points, as well as the board itself. If you can get away with holding on to the knight, hold on to it, because remember, it's better if they react into you, not you react into them. Apollo, I do Apollo to 2 simply because Swordcraft is an issue, and that's really it. That's really all I put this in for, because like, there's nothing in this deck that can deal AoE damage. Nothing. Minus like Albert, but that's like turn 9, which is like, trust me, that's a very far away. So I only run 2 Apollo. If you don't want to use Apollo, you can definitely take out Apollo for what am I gonna put in here, for another Hound and another Ancestral Crown, and it'll look like this. it'll look like that if you want to do that. But outside of that, I would suggest keeping Apollo into your deck. I would even suggest putting Kaimitsu if you have him, just because he's a follower that you need to clear. That someone needs to clear because it's a reoccurring 2/2. But it's a very bad card. Like, at least if it gave it rush or something, it would have been a better card. But anyway, Hound of War, simple. On turn 3, it can clear something, but you usually save it for the enhanced turn 6, where it summons 2 more copies, so that's 12 damage and 1 card on enhanced 6, which does come very, very handy because you need to be saving evolution points as badly as you can. You need to be saving evolution points. Like, it's just something that you need to be very mindful of evolution points in this game. I'll show some replays that showcase like what I mean by that. But yeah, you run 2 of this. Sometimes I would run 3 for consistency, but 2 seems fine, honestly. When you're looking at going into the mid range, 2 is fine. I mean, you don't really need I feel like you don't need more because of future cards that I'm going to show that are coming up. But yeah, you just run like 2 of this because it is rush, and like it's a 4/2 stat line. If it was 4/3, it would be broken, but it's a 4/2 stat line, so it does die very easily. So just keep in mind when you use this card, but usually you use it on turn 3. Sometimes you'll use it before turn. Sometimes you'll use it more, mostly on turn 6. But sometimes you'll use it before, and that's totally fine. Just be mindful of the board as well, because the board is like the most important thing about Swordcraft. Maintaining the board is next to impossible depending on how you play it, but it really does take a lot of thinking. It's like a thinking deck when it comes to like a lot of the strategies on how you can get out, what you can get away with and stuff like that. But now, Zakrona. I personally used to use her at 3. I loved her at 3, but a 4/4/4 after turn 4 and turn 5, after the evil points are down, it's just a useless card. I mean, like, this card doesn't provide any value outside of buffing a card and summoning 2 knights, and in the late game, you do not want this. So I personally run 2. I mean, like, I see her. If she comes, if she doesn't, she doesn't. But, you know, it's not the be-all, end-all. Run her at 2. It's consistent enough. You see her plenty of times, and you don't need a 3rd copy. You'd rather have another copy of something else, or just have 2 for more consistency with other cards. So yeah, I mean, like, it summons 2 knights, which are 1/1, give buffs it for by 2/2. But if you're playing against Runecraft, Forestcraft, Dragoncraft, well, not Dragoncraft, but Portalcraft, they'll easily clear your board. That's why you run it at 2. Especially if you have nothing else on the board. It's just her with the 2 knights at 2/2. Yeah, your board's gonna get clear most of the time. Most, if not all the time, your board's gonna get clear. So you run her at 2, just to match an evil point and get them to force an evil point. Unless they're psychotic Portalcraft players that hold on to their puppets for turn 4, turn 5. But yeah, okay. Now, the honest to God star of the show, and Cecile Crown, bro, this card is broken. When a follower enters the field, give it 1/1. I cannot tell you how much times this card has saved me throughout games. Like, this card single-handedly wins games. Like, this card is the card you always want to mulligan for on turn. If you're going second, always mulligan for this card. Always. It's just a god tier card. Like, my god, it's literally a royal banner in original Swordcraft, but on steroids, because it gives you +1/+1 instead of just +0. And the cooldown is 4, so it does. So if you do turn 4, this will be on your turn 8. You will have a full board of it will leave the field, and then you'll have a turn board of Amalia, which is nice. But you'll always want to. So the way to think about playing this is on turn 4, you slam it down if you can. If you can slam down this card turn 4, do it. Try your best to make a board try your best to make a board, or if a board by turn 3 is like not the greatest board, like it's a very weak board, slam this down on turn 4. If the board is something that you can't handle, do not slam this. Slam it when you can. It's a very situational card to slam, but you always want to slam it on turn 4 if possible. And this deck wants to go second, so you can do a turn 3, slam it on turn 4, and then you have set up for this into Zakrona. Zakrona will be a 7/7, the Knights will be a 3/3 each, and that are bombs in itself, which is disgusting. So yeah, this card has a lot of versatility, but you want to be playing 2. I mean, you could play 3 as well. I would personally play 3 if I had an option, but you know, sometimes I'm still debating on this card if I want to keep this card in or just put a 3rd copy as Zakrona because of how broken it is. But anyway, Luminous Magus. Needless to say, this card is broken. Summon 3 2/2s, so 6/6 in total. Give them ward, and when an officer enters the field, you give them ward. It's a very unique interaction where if you do Amelia on turn 9, recover. So she's a 3 cost essentially. So on turn 9, 8/7/6, you can do it. You can even do it on turn 8. Actually, you do this on turn 8. You summon her, summon this. Fill your board, super evolve Amalia to give them barrier, and then it's like a nightmare to try to deal with that, especially on the like you cannot deal with that board on turn 8. You can't deal with that board, but that's why you run 3 copies of this. This is a core copy, run 3 copies. Do not ask why, just run 3 copies. Albert is our win con. There are games where you can slam on turn 5 with Ancestral Crown, and he becomes a 6/8 on turn 5. I don't know how the hell you're clearing that unless you're Runecraft holding on to Stormy Blast. You're most likely going to use off a lot of resources to kill this thing. And so you run him at 3 because he needs to be at 3. Like, you cannot run him at 2. He's our game con, our win con. Everything relies on him most of the time, everything relies on him. Run him at 3 if you can. I'll also do a budget deck. I'll also create a budget deck for you guys as well. Amelia, a 3 cost. They only run at 6, but it's a 3 cost. Draw 2 Swordcraft followers, and then super evolve. Give all the Swordcraft followers barrier. It is like the barrier is very nice, but it doesn't really help against Portalcraft because of the use of Orcus and the Bane followers and the Bane that all the puppets get. Yeah, it's just never super evolve this on a Portalcraft Orcus deck, puppet deck. Just don't bother. It's just a waste of a super evolve. Just player on turn 6 if you need followers. Play on turn 7. Well, don't play on turn 7, but if you need to play on turn 7 because you have no Geno, play on turn 7. Player anytime you need Swordcraft followers. Choose a 3 cost, and then you can combo up with a lot of other things. Like you can combo up with War Dogs on turn 9. War Dogs on turn 9, give them barrier and stuff like that. Also, I forgot to mention Vols. I don't know how the hell I skipped over Vols. Jesus. So let the enemy follower do 5 to it. Pretty crazy. It doesn't go through Aura, but goes through Intimidate, which is very, very nice. And on turn 6, you get 2/2. So turn 12, 4, 3, in hand 6. Usually sometimes I evolve it, but I mean, like, I'm debating if I should keep evolving or not, because that'll be a 6. That'll be a 3. A 6/5. It's nice to go face, because then if you can get Albert on turn 9, it's nice. But I mean, like, you're typically never gonna keep this in ambush. Trust me, I tried that. You're never gonna keep this in ambush. Just attack directly, do damage, and just keep chipping them down. Don't ever keep him in ambush form. But outside of that, you run him at 3 because he's just that good. He's just broken. He is a card destruction. He is a literal Lionheart ward for anything that has less than 5 has 5 or less HP, which most things do when you crash into other followers. But essentially, you run him at 3. Don't run him at 2, run him at 3. Olivia Dark Angel, broken freaking card. I mean, almost every deck is playing this. If not every deck is playing this, you should play it too. So draw 2, restore 2, very nice to keep out of lethal range. And you recover 2 play points, so it's basically a 5 cost. I mean, it's literally Amelia, except it draws cards instead of followers, which is very nice, especially when you need to get into your other incomes. But outside of that, you typically never super evolve it. You just do it for the draw effect. You never really super evolve it unless you have to. Just save your super evo. You don't need to super evolve this. But you play it 1 because you need space for everything else. I mean, if I take out this, I'd either take this out and put her at 2, but that hurts the consistency of everything else you want to be achieving. You can do a 3rd Essential Crown, which I probably would recommend, or you could do a 3rd Apollo, but I mean, 2 Apollo is good enough, and you're typically never going to be versing Swordcraft all that much anyways. You're not going to be seeing a lot of Swordcraft. But yeah, so you play her at 1, Gino, attack 2, strike at Barry and summon a knight, broken card. Like, you attack twice, it can't die when you're attacking. It needs to be destroyed on the enemy team, or it's basically a GG. It's in itself for 20 damage on the dot. Yeah, I mean, you just run this at 3 because it literally saves you an evil point, and if you super evolve it, it does 2 damage to face because it's destroying 2 things, because there's no follower on turn 7 that has 10 HP. It's just not happening. But yeah, you run him with 3 because this card is definitely a lifesaver in a lot of situations. Alright guys, you can do 2 or 3 Amalia. I do 3 because of the consistency and the fact that she can give Steelclad Knights 3, 6, 9, 12 damage. So she's basically 12 damage plus 1 if you super evolve, so 13 damage on the field. Or if she's a 9 damage follower, you have 12 plus 9, 21, so that's 21 damage right there for killing things on the board. Very, very big. And the Russian ward are very nice. It saves you an evil point unless you're versing Kuan. So say turn 7 they do Kuan, and then it's your turn 8 because you're going first. No, because you're going first, and they +1 Kuan, and they clear your Geno while you slap this down. Clear their board with your thingy. You clear your board with their thingies. Hopefully they don't have the demonic Shikigami, but if they do, I mean, like, you still just try to kill the Celestial Shikigami and other one, and Kuan himself, because he's a 6/6 with this card as a 9/9, and then they have to William your board if they don't have William. But yeah, you run this card at 3, 100%. You run this card at 3, and Centurion is, I don't ever see this card come up. I mean, it did at one point, but this list is still changing. I'm kind of deciding whether I want to do a Centurion or not. I don't know about this card. I'm gonna be real. I don't know about this card. It's a Storm follower, but it really depends, because a lot of people will, if they're smart enough and they're looking at the board and they're anticipating your cards and they're reading your cards and they're trying to read your hand, which you should be doing, they'll most likely see that you're trying to set up for like a lethal play the next turn, and so they either drop down a ward to block this or not. And on turn 10, you're most likely not gonna have Centurion with Ignorant Samurai to be able to clear 1 ward and go face for 10, right? When you have Albert to go turn 9, do 6 damage or 12 damage depending on if you super evolve him or not, or if you have super evolves or not. But like I said, every game is different, so it's really hard to exactly tell you exactly like what to play. But if you take this card out, just add another Ancestral Crown. I mean, I would not add another Olivia because that just hurts the consistency, as well as like you'd have 2 7 costs in the deck when you already have a lot of like 5+ cost followers that you do not need, and then you do not need anything else because you already maxed on everything. And I would not play 3 Hound of War. You don't need it. Trust me, you don't need it. I would say just play another Ancestral Crown. Just let it come up. But yeah, this is the deck. I ran it like this to combat a lot of things. This deck does save a lot of evo points, but at some points you do need to use your evo points, and you have to be okay using your evo points. It beats Swordcraft is your hardest matchup. Puppet Portalcraft is an almostly impossible matchup. It really depends on if you get lucky with your cards, dude, with those decks. Runecraft is not really skill based, it's just if they pull N or not. Yeah, sorry about that. Portalcraft is Puppet Portal is your hardest deck to verse. Forcecraft is second. Runecraft third. Dragoncraft is kind of easy. Abysscraft, you barely see Abysscraft, but you probably have like it probably might be an even matchup. If not, Swordcraft favored. Without further ado, let me get into 3 games to show you guys how I play this deck. Okay, so this is a deck where I versed Runecraft. I'm gonna state exactly what I'm thinking in this. Okay, so when you're versing Runecraft, you typically want a 2/3/4. You typically want Luminous Lancer Troop because this card is very, very good. It helps you tremendously in this matchup because it makes your board wide, as well as it helps with voiceability, especially when they're mostly single target until turn 6, where they unlock William to be able to board clear. Outside of that, typically this is not really useful right now. I mean, like maybe turn 3, maybe like if you give me on like a turn 3, turn 4, maybe kind of draw maybe. And then Vols, you don't need it all. I'm never playing this card at any point until like turn 5 when I need to. I think. I don't remember how this matchup went, but that's what we're looking for. So turn 1, you're just looking for cards to play. They play Foresight, draw 1, it's fine. Guys, also keep in mind, I'm not using my play point here. I've done it before, it's not worth it. It's not worth it putting this on 2 and then putting this on 2. It's just not worth it. No, just save it for when you need to do Luminous Knight, and then they have to force to trade it. You always want to think of how can I make my opponent use an evo point, because there's no evo recovery. You need to always worry about how you're gonna force them to use an evo point. Especially in Runecraft, they use evo points. They don't need to use it that much, so you have to force them to use it. So my opponent does Truth summons a clay golem. I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. That doesn't matter. I think I play Lancer Troop here. Yeah, so I play Lancer Troop. I do. Remember how in the showcase I told you guys sometimes you do not want to use your Lancer to attack. This is one of those times. You do not want to trade this because you get no value out of it. You can't clear it, and there's just no point in trading this. He's going to attack face. He has no reason to clear this because he's just wasting 2 damage to my face. There's no reason you should ever be taking this fight. You should ever be trading this. It's not worth it. Just do not worry about it. Take the 2 damage like a champion. You'll be fine. But for some reason, some unknown reason, he decided to hit my Luminous Lancer Troop. I mean, I get it. You think I'm playing that 3 cost card, the mode one. What is it? Iron Majesty. Guys, that card is terrible. It's such a tempo waste. You're unlocking, like, let me put this into perspective why I do not play that card. I forgot to even put it in the deck when I was describing the deck to you guys, but that card is a 3 cost. It either summons you can select one of 2 modes. You can either give the field 1+1, which you cannot do if there is no field to give 1+1 to, and even then it's like a dead card. You could just play something else for 3 cost, and then it summons a Steelclad Knight and a Knight, which can get cleared because this game gives Fairies Rush and Puppet Rush and stuff. So like it just gets cleared. Like, it's just a waste of space. It's a waste of cards. Never play that card. It's just bad. It's very bad. It's only to get you going into the higher ranks, but the higher ranks, you do not play that card. Do not touch that. Do not touch was it Iron Majesty or whatever? Do not touch that card, please. Do not. Just never include it in your deck. It's a waste of space. It's a waste of cards. It's a waste of resources. Do not put that in your deck. I did not put that in our deck. I forgot to mention it. Just do not put that in your deck. It's terrible. It's bad. So, looking at this board. Oh, this is when I was playing Kagemitsu. Okay, this is when I was playing Kagemitsu in this deck. But looking at this board here, I want you guys to think of like what we're gonna do here. Do we want to clear the board, or do we want to just go face and then see what happens? In this instance, because we are reliant on our mid-range, we need to get to the mid-range. We can't take too much damage early because it says that they're Kuon. Also remember that the only storm in this deck is Kuon. So we have to get around not having them spam the board with the freaking flame claw giant whatever thing, you know? So in this instance, we're gonna trade the knight here. Trade the knight with Claw Golem, Valve, Miss Miranda, and then we pass. So we only lose 1. We kill 2 birds with technically 2 stones, but in this case we clear 1, and then we have another board. Then we have 1 on the field for next turn. Did I do that? I don't remember. Okay, no. Okay. So that's what. Okay. That's what you should be doing. Sorry, I forget. This was games ago, but this is what you should be doing if you did not have this play here. Now, my mindset for doing Kagemitsu here is that it's gonna be buffed up by Zakrona to a 3/3. They're going to have to answer this, so they can deal 2 damage to my face, or they're gonna get 3 damage back while this gets cleared. So they're gonna clear this. I do Zakrona, and I keep my Vulse. I keep my 5 damage Vulse in my hand, which is very, very nice. And we are perfectly nicely lining up for turn 7 to get to turn 7 where we don't have to use too much evos. But always use your mostly you use your evo on Zakrona in the early game. When you get to turn 4, you'll most likely use it. So the enemy trades. I obviously have Zakrona, so I'm going to use Zakrona. Evolve Zakrona to get the 2 knights for 2/2. We're gonna knock into the knight. Now in this aspect, let's just be on. Like, can I show the opponent's hand? Is that possible? No, it's not. I don't think so. Wait, what are for replay menu? Can I showcase the hand? No, I can't. I can't showcase their hand. Okay, that's unfortunate. But anyway, they're gonna. Oh, they didn't have Anne here, right? Okay, so they didn't have Anne here. Okay, let me just let the gameplay out and talk it over like that. So yeah, they clear 1. We still have a follower here with Kagemitsu coming down. In this now, this is a perfect time to show you guys why this card is broken. The reason why I did not play Lancer Trooper here is because it's gonna get buffed by Ancestral Crown. When you play this card, you want to play all your followers that summon extra followers because they're going to get buffed by it, as well as Vulse going to get buffed by it. But I did not play Vulse till like later on. I don't know if I even played Vulse I don't know if I even played Vulse right now. But essentially, Kagemitsu gets 2 activations of this if he dies on turn 4, which he most likely will. Then he gets it on turn 2. Well, he only gets 1 activation, but it's still pretty good because it's a 3 cost. Super evolve it to 6 to face on turn 7. Kind of crazy, man. That's kind of crazy. And then turn 7 you also have Geno clearing. So what happens? You don't run Apollo. This is when I was not running Apollo. Then I lost the 2 forest crafts, and I decided to run Apollo because you cannot clear. You have no AoE outside of Apollo until turn 9, which is very, very bad. So my opponent does N, which is I was expecting. In this aspect, I did Geno. Why did I do Geno? Because you always, as Swordcraft guys, you always want to anticipate that they will have Kuon on turn 7. And because Ancestral Crown is buffing Geno to a 7 cost, they have to use 1 to 2 resources to be able to clear Geno. Kuon himself cannot clear Geno. If this was not activated, Geno could be cleared with 1 attack from Kuon, enabling them to clear other followers. But because this is on the board, they need to use 2 attacks to clear this, which gives them 1 attack for the 2/2 Knight, which I have 2 of, and then the Celestial Shikigami will either go face for 4 or clear the board. That's why I decided to do the extra play point into this, and I can clear this easily. Now, notice I don't super evolve this. I don't evolve this for 2 damage. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of evil points. I would never do that. I can just clear this naturally. I don't need to worry about that at all. So you're gonna see how this card wins games, but that is the reason why. This +1 right here on the health is huge. It's very massive. So he summons 2, gets the barrier, so we have a very wide board. Unless he has William that has 7 cost. I mean, you can also do N2, but you're still using two effects to clash, and well, not 2 effects, but he used 2 effects because he did Looking Smart and then did 2. Then he clears that. I believe I just did. I don't remember what I did here. Okay, so I did Luminous Night. Why did I do Luminous Night here? To create a whiteboard. The fact that they did not play Kuon on turn 7 told me that they don't have Kuon. And if they don't have Kuon, they might have William. And some people play 3 William, but majority play only 1 or 2 William just for the AoE clear. Reason why I did this instead of doing Geno again is because I want William to clear this, so I can use Geno to clear William and whatever else they might have if they, God forbid, they have something else, because William's a 6 cost. But outside of that, that's the reason why I played her here, and to buff them up, because they will most likely get cleared by William in this case. If they had it, they would clear the board, and they would clear the board, go face for 6. No, I don't think they went face for 6. I think I cleared this, but yeah, I cleared this. I didn't want to take 6 damage. I didn't want them to be able to tack into this, but I put this down, and then thinking if they have William here, which they do have William, but my guess was right. They put down William in this. I put down Geno and put it. But because I have Ancestral Crown, I did not need to do Geno. I could just do this. Have a ward. They still have extra play points. I'm still okay. They might have Kuon this turn, but what are they gonna do with Kuon? They're gonna attack the board. I don't even need to buff this at all because this board clears it and this stays. So I don't have to use a super evolve at all, which is crazy. So I have 1 ward follow and I have this. This is gonna die soon, so it doesn't really matter. There's the Kuon. Flame Destroyer. Now you guys are thinking all hope is lost. And if someone is naturally looking at this board, you see how they have to use 2 attacks? Now someone looking at this board is going to be like, holy crap, what the hell is this? Jesus, what the hell? Yeah, buddy, not me, brother. We do the Geno, we attack into this, we do that, then I have to super evolve it because I need this guy off the field. Now, in this case, the only option they have is if they somehow have another William, they can clear, then I have Amalia, then I have Amelia and Tavos. Or they do another Kuan, but doesn't stop here. Or if they have a Codis is a use. Codis is not good. It's not good. It's not like it's not too good, but at this point he summons Kuan. He has an Evo point. Now guys, listen. He's gonna be greedy, he's gonna attack 10 to face, and then he has no other Stormfall afterwards. So you're giving a Swordcraft player another turn. You don't want to do that. What in this instance, what you should have done is super evolve the Noble Shikigami, attack into Geno, and pray to God I don't have Albert or anything else. But instead he goes greedy and he decides to give, well, I mean, this is also a good case as well where you can do that, but he goes face for whatever reason. I don't know why he went face, but essentially, go Amalia. I take out the Knights, and I take out Kagemitsu because Kagemitsu's gonna come. I do the War Dogs, super evolve Amalia to give the War Dogs barrier. And then at this point, I win the game because William can clear, but they're most likely not running William. If they have to do Seraph Teachings, they're probably not running William. They don't really have a William. Kuan is just a dead card. I mean, like, what's this card gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? You Kuan the field and then what? It's just not worth it. Okay, so this is my deck that I showcase versus Love Sign. This is including what's his name again? What's his name? I forget what's his name. Apollo. So anyway, I did not keep any of those followers because it's useless against Swordcraft. Against Forestcraft, you want people with rush. You want single targets. You want to be able to clear their board as they make it, because the ping to you does ping 1 damage to your face, gets annoying, and it turns on Roach. You do not want Roach being turned on. I don't want that Roach being turned on. Yikes. But anyway, I'm hoping for an Apollo here. Apollo wins the game, by the way. Apollo single-handedly wins this game. No Apollo, I'm not going to +2 to summon Ignorant Samurai. That's just a waste of time, a waste of point. No point. So I do Ignorant Samurai. Sorry, guys. You always want to look to reset the board. I think I do Hound of War here because I want to keep my Vulse silent sniper. So I think I do Hound of War here. Yeah, I do a Hound of War here. I believe they had a fairy again. Yeah, they had a fairy that clears this, and they probably add another fairy, so that's fine. Because we are at turn 4, I can add a play point, summon Luminous Mage. I didn't do that. What's wrong with me? Oh, I see. That's why. Okay. So in that instance, I had 4 play points to work with. So I was I had 5 play points to work with. So I was able to quickly establish that I can kill the fairy, take the knight, kill the Fey Twinkle Toes, and we have a board here, which is great. Very good. I think he has 1 fairy in his hand, right? I don't remember. I don't know why he did Bug Bite here. I don't understand. And then I don't understand, I guess I understand the fairy wood, but destroying it just to give it 1+1. I mean, like, I don't see the value in that. It's weird. But anyway, we do luminous magus here just so that we can have the wards that will burn a lot of resources. They're burning a lot of resources to kill my board without using evo points, but in Swordcraft, evo points don't really matter in this deck. It's about the hand size and the combo count, as well as the play point percent. So in this case, what I did was I did 1 point Geno. Why I did that is because I want them to be able to spend a lot of things on Geno, so I end up attacking these two. Well, I think I left this one. No, I didn't. Okay. Because we're at turn 6 and I can burn an evil point, I wanted to do that. I wanted to be able to clear the board, have my own big giant ass board that they have to clear. Okay, so they do Eye of the Woods. They super evolve it. I mean, that's fine. Sorry, guys. I mean, they evolve it. He clears, and then for some unknown reason. Oh, no, okay, yeah. So he clears the board. I mean, that's fine. You can clear the board. I don't really care. Then we do Amalia. I mean, Amalia gets me Luminous Knight, and then Flash Step Quick Blader. And I feel like I decided to super evolve it because this board is good already. Why did I super evolve this board? Well, it takes double the amount of resources to clear these. There's a 7/7 on the board. There's a follower that gets rush. And there's a quick step later. In the opponent's eyes, because I have an evil point, I could have Zerkrona, right? I could have it. I don't, but I could have it in their eyes. And this could be a nasty field, so they have to figure out a way to deal with this. I don't remember how they dealt with it. They didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, like, they couldn't know what to do with it. Like, what can you do with this, right? Like there's just nothing you can do here. So he returns back the Roach for next turn. I mean, like, after this turn, there's not really gonna be a turn. So I just clear that, do Hound of War. And then I think he surrenders because he realizes, like, there's just nothing you can do. I mean, there's just nothing you can do here. So he kills the War Dog. He does Roach for some reason because he only has 2 cards in his hand. So he's gonna do that. Bounty. Oh, yeah. He did have another Roach, I believe. Did he? Yeah, he did. 36. I mean, like, you can do as much damage to me, but if my LP is not 0, then you done messed up. So we do Albert, obviously. The trick that we do with Albert nowadays is that you can clear this with Albert. I think I didn't bother with that though. I think I cleared this one and I went face because I wanted to go 6 damage to face. And then my opponent surrenders because he has 1 card, and like there's not the no card can win against this board. No card can win against that board. And now for the last game, I versus Swordcraft. I want to showcase a loss to you guys. I don't want this all being win, showing that like, oh, this deck is perfect. No, it's not perfect. I'm still updating it as it is. I'm still trying to figure out good ratios. I feel like I'm going to take out Centurion, to be honest with you, because it's just a wasted card. Into Swordcraft, I kept Ancestral Crown because this is such a good card. But my opponent played very well into it. I mean, like, look, yeah, he's rank A. He played very well into my Ancestral Crown. So I think I did Flash Step Quick Blader, and I went into this knowing that I'm gonna do turn 3 Ancestral Crown, turn 4 Zerkrona. But my opponent does Ignorous Samurai on an open game state. Now, if you recall me telling you to never do this, in this aspect it's okay because I technically do not have a board, and on turn 3 I'm saving up for this. This cannot be, like, if you're playing at Swordcraft, it cannot be cleared unless you have a Lancer Samurai, or if you have a quick Flash Step Quick Blader, which I gave up to deal with the other threat. So unless you have those 2 options, this is a safe bet that this is going to be still on the field for now. And then he does the Corona on top of that, which makes sense. So I want to go face, but I had to do Zacrona here to take out their Zacrona. But keep in mind, Swordcraft going first is also very deadly and very dangerous because they always have the first move. So my opponent does mages, which honestly was an incredible play by him because he does this twice, I believe, and I just can't deal with it because Swordcraft lacks in its entirety. It lacks AoE damage, unless like enhance or something from Shadowverse. But outside of that, I go face for I think 3 damage. He has Apollo. He got Apollo. I mean, like, lucky I had to waste an evil point I had to burn my evil points, which is kind of sad. But I mean, like, what can you do? We're at 13 to 17. I don't really have a good game plan. I mean, I can Ancestral Crown here with that, clear this, but I don't really want to super evolve this. I cleared the Volse instead of Apollo because Apollo cannot grow any stronger than outside of maybe like a 1-1. It cannot be evolved, so it does not get the evolve effect. This was a very good play by my opponent. I can't clear this board unless I have Apollo, which I clearly don't, and I can't just, Geno wipe the field. So I attack with this. I have to leave the Apollo up, but then my opponent does a great play. He does Amalia. He probably draws Luminous Magnus and super evolves Amelia, and I just can't win from here. There's no way I win this. So, like a good sport, I told him you did very well. Thank you for the game, but there's just no way I win the game. So he attacks face, and the game is over. So outside of that, guys, that is the deck review of my Swordcraft deck. Just keep in mind that I'm most likely going to take out this card for a 3rd Ancestral Crown or possibly a 2nd Olivia. I need to test out but I would never play a 3rd Apollo because I only keep this for Forestcraft. This is dead in everything else outside Forestcraft. But outside of that, it would either be an extra Olivia or definitely an Ancestral Crown. I would not do 3 Zirconia. I would not do Hound of War. I would not. But yeah, I hope this deck profile, this deck list, and me explaining everything helped you guys. It is a very, very long video. I am very sorry about that, but I really wanted to get my thoughts across when it comes to building this deck, and I will make a free-to-play budget deck for you guys. It's been 2 weeks out, so I guess you guys still have like what I can like estimate what you guys have if you guys want me to. So put in the comment below if you want me to make a budget Swordcraft deck for you guys, and then like explain why I put the things I put in there for you guys. But yeah, if you like this content, if you want to see more of these things, I do have an Abysscraft deck list in the works. I'm still playtesting it. I'm still trying to playtest more Swordcraft because I main Swordcraft and I love this deck, but I'm playtesting Abysscraft right now in ranked. I'm liking the list a lot, and I also want to build a Portalcraft deck, a puppet deck. I'm almost very, very close to finishing that, so that's gonna be exciting. I'm sorry, this is like 54 minutes long. Jesus, I yapped so much. What the hell? 40 cards got to 50 minutes. Holy crap. If you guys like this kind of content, if you guys like my moldy voice over a microphone, comment, tell me what you thought, tell me if you like the deck, tell me what you put, tell me your list, tell me just tell me like how you like the deck list, if you like it, if you're not, if you're seeing resource or not. I know, I'm sorry, the deck is super expensive. It's the only way to play competitively and viably, unfortunately. If anything, what I would say crafting first is craft Amelia. Craft Amelia first, especially if you're in the low rank. craft Amelia first. Amelia gets you to a lot of your Swordcraft followers, and it's a 3 cost, which does help. Then you craft Albert second. I mean, you could also make the case for crafting Albert first to get the viable Stratus, but you probably, as like a budget deck, you probably will have more cards to deal storm damage to, and not really a lot of people like understand the game so far. So yeah, and then Olivia will come when it comes. You definitely want at least 2 Gino, 2 Amalia, 2 Zacrona. If you can do 2 Vols, if you have Vols and stuff like that, but like I'll save that for the free to play budget deck. If you guys want me to do that, then I'll definitely do that. But aside from that, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying my best to push out videos nowadays. I'm so sorry. My life is like a mess and crazy. But yeah, if you like this content, if you like my guides like this, because I like trying to explain everything. I'm an over explainer. It's just how I am. But if you guys like this kind of content, like, comment, and subscribe. This is my Swordcraft deck, and hope you guys like it. I hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys learned. Just keep in mind that these decks are changing. Some lists might be a little bit different than others, but majority, the core of the deck will stay the same. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it. I don't want to make this an hour long, but thank you guys for watching. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.